All right, how you doing today? Today we're taking a look at UJAM's Beatmaker 3.0 major update to their Beatmaker series. A lot of cool new features they added on. One thing they did change that I was not happy with at first, but I'm kind of getting used to it. We'll talk about that in a second here too. So one cool thing about the new Beatmaker is everything, all the drum libraries that you have are now under one plugin. So if you purchase the bundle, for example, you get all the kits in one bundle. Right now there's 14 Beatmakers out, probably 15 by the time you watch this because there's a new one. I have the beta version here of the software. So anyways, so the Beatmakers are genre specific sample pack libraries, if you will, with its own interface and different effects for each library that lies within the mixer and stuff like that. We'll talk about that. Like I said, one thing they did change was the MIDI mapping of the drum kit. It's a little different, but if you have the old 2.0, that will still work as a separate plugin. So if you have old projects and stuff, those are still going to work. It doesn't override that plugin. And I would have to imagine that the guitars, the bassists, the virtual bassists, the virtual guitarists, they'll probably do that eventually as well, updated to 3.0 or whatever version they're on to have everything under one plugin. I don't know, but that makes sense since they're doing it with the Beatmakers here. Anyways, let's check this out. Today we're going to look at the major changes, the overview. If you're brand new to this plugin, you'll see everything for the first time. There's a really cool mixer in this one. You can use all the MIDI libraries from anyone that you own for every sample pack. So if you're using the Cozy drum kit, you can use the MIDI loops from other sample packs that you own. I call them sample packs, but they're each individual, you know, whatever plugins, if you will, or sample libraries. So let's take a look at it. All right, so here's the main interface with the drum kit. We can come over here to load different kits, different sample packs, if you will. Go back to our main page here. So some things that are universal to all the drum kits is we have the drum pads laid out down here. We have the MIDI files loaded on here. So they changed the MIDI mapping from version 2 to version 3 here. So we have our kit laid out on all the white keys, a couple octaves, and then our patterns, our MIDI files on the black keys here, where they used to be on different octaves. Now we can also have the MIDI drag and drop here. As you can see, we can just drag that MIDI file right there. We'll also edit this, and we'll show you that in a second. We could also edit the drum kit pieces here. We could only we could change the kick drum, for example, here, but we could only do that from sounds that are within Candy here, or whatever sample pack you can load in. You can't mix and match samples from other kits at this time. And then we have our patterns down here that will load. These are our MIDI patterns that come along with Candy. And we can actually mix and match MIDI patterns as well. I'll show you that in a second too. But if I change this, for example, let's play this verse. So that will change all the MIDI patterns down here. We also have a setting up here for presets that will not only change the MIDI patterns, but will change the kit, because we have the sweep knob here. We have different drum kits for every different sample pack. In this case being Candy, obviously, we can change the drum kit here. And then we have our sweep knob. That we can automate. Now every different sample pack is going to have its own setting for this knob here. This one's called sweetness, so we'll just do that. And then we have different mix settings on this side, and every sample pack has its own mix settings as well that we can dial in. And then we have the Ambience slider over here as well, so we can get pretty crazy with that too. And then down here we have latch mode, which I have turned on right now. I wish you could lock this, because when you change, if you have that on, but if I change the drum kit, it changes. And by drum kit, I mean different sample packs. See, it just turned off. But anyways, Just turn it back on real quick. And then we got our cozy library here. As I was saying, this changes over here. The mix settings, obviously the drum kits change too. Let's play this beat. So it's pretty cool that every library has its own set of genre-specific mix and effects here as well. Now, what else can we do from this page? Well, we got the mixer too, but we'll get to that in a second. But if we're back on here, we could change these kick drums out, snare drums out. We can change the patterns here as well. For example, the kick drum here, you have this little icon here, just hit that. We have our different drum kits, or different drum kick drums we can choose from. Click on them once, demo them. Maybe we want this one, we double click on it and we'll replace the one down here. We have attack, decay, dynamic, and pitch as well that we can change. And if we, go into hi-hats, we could do the same with the hi-hat and everything and switch those around. Same thing with the patterns. We have our verses. Let's go here, click on that. We have all the verses and different, we could put any MIDI loop in there. We don't have to just do a verse. And we can mix and match from different sample packs, and we can search by style. We can search by song structure, and we can search by BPM. The MIDI patterns are designed, for specific BPMs that work best at, but of course you could use them any way you want. And then when we go over here, when you hover over them, you kind of see how busy the beat is or not, or whatever. Just kind of a visual thing. And we can drag to drop the MIDI from here as well. We could demo the beat. If we want to replace that, just do the same thing. We can double click it down here. And now it's on that pad. Now for the search, this search over here, we could search by mood, genre, or you could search by your different titles that you have, your different sample packs. Let's say we want to switch to Vice. We could go there, it'll load the Vice pack, and we could demo them from there as well. Go back to the Vice pack. Again, we have our MIDI patterns that we could quickly load from here that go with this library, or our presets that go with this library as well. Now we also have a feature in this icon here where we do the loop playback. So we could set it to where it syncs on the 16th note, 8th note, song position. We could do halftime, double time. We could mute the snare and kick, kind of automate that, so the snare doesn't play or the kick drum doesn't play. We also have our loop intensity here and our different things like that. Now some of these, this says slack on this one. Sometimes it says humanize or quantize or something. I don't know. A little different for every player, I guess. And then on the mixer page, we still have our patterns down here, or we could switch to the kit. Let's go to patterns for now. And this is new in version 3, where we have the mixer, where we could add saturation, do filter, ambience, and pan to individual drum kit hits, drum kit pieces, if you will. And then we can also do our multiple out if we want to, using the multiple out version. We still have the mix knob over here. We have time machine, we have ambience. We could choose between different ambience. And now these are different on every sample library. For example, I have the cozy, this is the lo-fi Beatmaker loaded up here. And of course, we have our master control for the ambience here, but we go back to the mixer and we have our different ambient settings over here. So if we're playing a beat, for example, we can switch between different ambience. We can adjust the ambience overall level, and within the mixer, we can adjust the ambience for the different instruments. So that's very cool as well. And also we can change our mix settings from here too, our master mix settings, which would be right here as well on this page. And this is the fader that corresponds with this fader here. So they kind of laid everything out very intuitively just to go quick around. I don't know if that's a word. Move quickly around the interface. So if you're here, you want to find some beats, you want to change the sample, let's go here, change the beat, and all that kind of fun stuff. So that's the mixer page. And of course we have our size adjustment if you want to do that. We can also drag and drop, just drag it. All right, so there you go. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Check out my other videos floating around the screen here. I have hundreds of other videos on my back catalog, UJAM products, all kind of plugins and things like that, music production. That is all for now, and I will talk to you soon.